Hello, Wellsprings. Welcome to another Tarot Tuesday on the last day of November. This is our fifth Tarot Tuesday, and I'm so excited that you've come along on this journey with me this month as we have explored um, spiritual practices and how tarot might be one for you. And whether you make tarot one of your daily or weekly spiritual practices or just want to explore it for fun, I'm still really grateful that you've come along. So we have over the past again whole month, we started this I think on the 2nd. We've looked at the major and minor arcana. We've looked at the suits and their various meanings. Last week I shared with you the different books that I use to engage in diving more deeply into the cards. And today, partly because I'm coming to you from a new space, since I am here in Pennsylvania in my Airbnb, I wanted to try something new and actually talk to you about different spreads. I've mentioned that in these little videos that you can do a one card spread, as I have been doing, and as is my daily practice to set an intention for the day. Two card spreads, three card spreads, 10, 12. Use your imagination, whatever number calls to you. But there are some really great guides, and depending on the book that you might have with your deck, if you have a deck of cards, some of those will offer spread suggestions. When learning the cards, it's really good to play around and see how those different kinds of spreads might speak to you or really help guide you to intuiting the meanings of the cards and how they are helpful to you. One of the practices I used most when I was first exploring tarot, and probably for the first few years, and which I still come back to periodically, is just a simple 3 card spread. And partly I like to do that because there are so many ways to interpret a 3 card spread. And so if you are on Pinterest or I don't know, have the internet and want to Google 3 card spreads, you will find tons of suggestions for how a 3 card spread can be used. And I'm going to see, I really wanted to figure out how to share my screen with you, but I don't know if it's going to let me now. And so what I will do is share in the comments later a really great little a blog called Labyrinthos, and the blogger actually has some great suggestions for various spreads and breaks down the 3 card spreads into linear spreads, what they call balance spreads, and let me go and see how what her other categories are. Foundation spreads and crossed spreads. And so there's lots and lots of different ways to use that. I have a resource that I use that's actually from a tarot planner, like literally a weekly, monthly, daily calendar. And I love this because the way the writers for that calendar organize it is just to give you lots of categories to say, here's a way to approach a 3 card spread. Center yourself, breathe, shuffle your cards, and then as you turn them, have one that perhaps represents where you are in mind right now. Where is your body? Where is your spirit? And then that's a good way of just centering yourself and focusing on the present moment you're in. Speaking of present, you can also do a temporal 3 card spread. Here is your past that you are perhaps grappling with. What's going on in your present? What are your hopes and possibilities for the future? I'm not going to go through the whole list. There's literally 24, and even more than that. But in my ritual planner, those are the ones that are right at the top. The one I used most often, as again, since I really like to use tarot in my own spiritual practice as a way of setting intentions for my day, I use sometimes a 3 card spread to set an intention for my week. And the ways in which in the ritual planner that calls to me is this: what is something I need to embrace for this week? And by that, I interpret that to mean, what do I need to pay attention to? The Page of Swords is the one I've pulled for that. And the Page of Swords, the swords being air and intellect, and page being a messenger, a card of action. I actually know that this week I am returning home to my finals week of my semester, and I really do need to embrace studying and getting some papers done and taking action on my intellect, since that's what the swords represents. So what do I need to embrace? What do I need to accept that I maybe have been resisting? And I drew the King of Cups for that one just now. And the King of Cups is about being nurtured and tended to, either offering that to others or accepting the care. You'll notice this character is pouring you a cup of tea. And so, as I know for myself, and perhaps you all know this for yourselves, I tend to focus on care for others, and I don't always graciously accept the care that's being offered to me. So, embracing that for this week is something I will pay attention to. And then, is there something I've been clinging to that I might need to let go of? The Knight of Cups, also about emotions. The Knight of Cups is often considered to be a dreamer, someone with their head in the clouds, romantic, an idealist. And I'd have to think about this one for myself in terms of what I need to let go of. But I know that sometimes, again, in this card as a spread, as I'm working on projects and trying to finish things, I do tend to want stuff to be perfect, and I want to be my best all the time. I have that romantic ideal. I probably need to let go of that and remember that just getting things done is enough, that being myself is enough. So that is one way that you can use a 3-card spread to reflect on what's going on, to set an intention, and to know what you need to pay attention to. I will, as I said, put the link to the blog Labyrinthos, which has those really great spread recommendations. I'll put that in the link, in the chat. And I will also, I'll put a link to the ritual planner. It's actually something you can buy, but if it's something like as we head into a new year that you're looking for a planner anyway, it's actually really fun and it's a practical planner. So just wanted to share all of that with you. I'll give you some resources. And yes, Lee says in the chat she learned about past, present, future. But again, there's lots of ways, and not just linear, that you can think about how to set intentions and pay attention, which again are the core of spiritual practices. So I always try to keep an eye on my time, because as you know, I get excited and I go on and on. But thank you, Lee, and thank you, Andrea, for being live with me today. And for anybody else who's out there, thanks so much. I do plan to continue Tarot Tuesdays for at least a few more weeks as we get closer to the Christmas holidays. I'm going to assess maybe what you all need and what I need. But in the meantime, I look forward to being with you again next week. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you soon.